New World was broken, but things have already changed. New World has had lots of issues since launch, and there's no point me sitting here and denying that. And I'm sure in the future there will be more bugs and more gameplay issues. But quite frankly, a lot of what people were complaining about online, me included, has essentially already been fixed. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to sit here and go through every single issue that New World has had, but we'll touch on the big ones and we'll talk about the current state of it. So let's start with the gold duplication. There's no real excuse for this existing, but they have now stopped it and they have banned the players who did it. That doesn't mean that the gold isn't in the market, and this has potentially forever changed and damaged the economy. And I sort of suspect that some people who had multiple like Steam family member accounts may have laundered the gold and they will get away scot-free. They have now stopped the Steam family borrowing system, and this is actually going to help, I think, with gold sellers as well. As far as we know, the gold duplicating thing is mostly resolved. Some people will have got away with the money, but I think it's time we just move on now. If we get another gold duping exploit, then the questions to Amazon will have to be quite dramatic, I think. The chat bug has also been sorted. This was mainly people posting funny images in the chat, but it did have some nefarious potential. A slightly silly oversight, but it is now resolved, I believe. Okay, now let's move on to some of the bigger gameplay elements, and we'll start with the 50v50 wars. The wars have been essentially an underwhelming part of the game since launch because of one simple reason, and that is lag. People could intentionally and unintentionally lag out a war, and this led to people being accused of doing it on purpose and dramatic fallouts. It also led to zones being taken and lost when they perhaps shouldn't have been, and really the war system and the zone control is all a key part of the game, and the lag basically ruined it. However, in the latest patch 1.0.5, they have taken some steps to resolve the lag. And I've been in a couple of wars since then, and I can actually confirm it seemed like most of the lag was essentially gone. There was still little hiccups here and there, but nothing terrible. I had one war the day before the patch and one straight after the patch, and the difference was quite frankly night and day. Again, Amazon messed up, there's no denying that, but if the lag is mostly improved, which it seems to be, and that it just gets better and better, then I think most of the war players will be happy. Now, not quite a specific war issue, there have been some balance exploits as well. The classic one was the hatchet passive that wasn't going away. This meant that hatches were just ripping through everything and everybody. This has been sorted in the new patch. And there's quite a few that fit into this category. The invulnerability by just dragging the screen, I believe, is mostly resolved. Spamming crouching and healing is now sorted. And the resilient passive now seems to be working correctly and, you know, isn't just completely overpowered. I'm sure there's more issues like that I'm failing to mention here, but I'm not really noticing them myself in normal gameplay. Okay, let's talk about Outpost Rush. So I think it was enabled and then disabled and then enabled and then disabled and then finally enabled, and that's where we're up to right now, I think. Either way, there were many issues with it. The key one being that you literally couldn't play it for several weeks after launch, and this was impacting the economy because it is a good source of gold. But now it's working, and quite frankly, it's turned the game into something that I was just merely playing and sort of getting along with into something I'm actually actively enjoying. Yep, it wasn't playable for several weeks, and that's an issue, but it's here now, so try and enjoy it, I think. Another one of the end game problems was basically the corrupted portals. Essentially, the tier 4 and 5 Azov staff was bugged, which meant that you couldn't run these high-end corrupted portals, so you couldn't get the Azov and the gold and all that kind of stuff that comes with it. But importantly, it also meant that you couldn't craft the dungeon keys because the dungeon keys needed stuff from these portals. So essentially, this was a double whammy. You couldn't do the corrupted portals, and you couldn't do the expeditions unless you got the keys from the quests. But beyond that, you were done. Now, this has been sorted for now over a week, but Amazon have said that they are aware that the expedition keys are actually quite expensive, so they're going to lower the requirements so that people can actually enjoy the expeditions, because right now keys are being sold for like 2,500 gold. It's a little bit excessive. It's a little bit weird that some of the core gameplay is locked behind this. I understand it because it's actually a guaranteed watermark increase by the final boss, I believe, so it sort of makes sense, but you're taking away like a core pillar of the gameplay because it's just too expensive. I do think the game would definitely benefit from a public test realm. Maybe not one where they actually show off new content, but I'd like one where they like test a patch and people can just see if they can exploit it. You know, take all the people you've banned and whack them in there. But for now, the game has its core gameplay loops in place, and I think they're actually enjoyable. Sure, I'm pretty confident there will be more bugs, and sure, there are some gameplay issues that I wish were addressed. Amazon themselves have made a post talking about the future PvP changes that they're going to make, and I did make a video about that, which hopefully will be on the screen right now if you want to go check that out. If you like this video, do press like. If you enjoyed the content and you want to see more, do subscribe to the channel. Have a most beautiful day. Goodbye.